Hi everybody, welcome to another week of Makers Monday. I am Anastasia Redloff, aka Stampin Blondie, and thank you for joining me for your weekly live step-by-step crafting event. I'm so excited to have you join me here today as I showcase two projects featuring the Color and Contour bundle from the 21-22 Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. Now let me just make sure that I am live here on Facebook so that I can follow along with your comments. If you are joining me live here today, make sure comment, say hi, let me know where you're joining me from. If you're watching this via replay here on YouTube or Facebook, comment replay. Let me know where you were able to join me from today as well. I hope you all had an amazing weekend. I spent the last few days of my sick leave for my surgery just resting and recovering, and I was back to teleworking today for about the next 3 weeks. So I will telework, and then hopefully by then I'll be able to go back into work actually. I'm on driving restriction until the end of July, so hopefully by then I'll be out of the boot and be able to walk up and down some stairs so that I can go back to work. So it looks like everybody is able to see me and join me today. Hello everybody. Hi Linda, Connie, Kay. Thank you all for joining me. I'm really excited for you to join me here today. Now, like I mentioned, today I'll be featuring two projects from the Color and Contour bundle from the 21-22 Annual Catalog. I love this bundle, not only because it has a really versatile stamp set, but also because the dies that go along with it are perfect for beginner stampers or anybody looking for a really great die set. So let's go ahead and jump in. I've got some really fun announcements to go over before we jump into our two projects today. The first one is, I have something fun to show everybody. I received my copy of the July through December mini catalog last week, and I placed my pre-order, and it's by my front door right now. I am so excited to break open that box and show you all the fun new goodies that are coming in this catalog. Now, it is called the July through December mini catalog, but it's actually gonna be the August through December mini catalog. This is because Stampin' Up! Was having some supply issues due to COVID, that they wanted to ensure that when the catalog kicked off, that they would have enough supplies in stock for it to go live. So if you are not working with a current demonstrator and you haven't placed an order with me from the last 6 months, there will be a link in the description of this video that you can request your catalog. So if you've placed an order with me in the past 6 months, you're automatically on my list. No need to fill out the form. But if you are not working with a current demonstrator and you'd like a copy of this, feel free to click the link in the description of this video once I'm finished, and you can reserve your own copy. Now, I can't show you the inside, but I can show you the outside of it, and look at all of these fun products. I got this really pretty cherry cobbler ribbon, this designer series paper that's on here, and I can show you the back cover too. There's some really nice hand-painted Christmas papers that are in this catalog. Now this will run from August 3rd through, let me get the dates right, August 3rd through January 3rd. So technically it's called July through December, but it's really August through beginning of January. So this catalog has everything from Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, fall, and any kind of wintry projects that you would like to make. Now I'm gonna be doing an unboxing video later this week. I just need my husband to carry that really heavy box into my craft room for me so that I can open it up and show you guys all of the really fun goodies that are in this box. Now, not only does this start on August 3rd, but Celebration number 2 is coming this August 3rd as well. Now, if you're not too familiar with what Celebration is, it's Stampin' Up's biggest sale that they run now twice a year. And for every $50 that you purchase, you get to choose an item from this brochure for free. And there's also an increment for $100 order as well. There are some really cute supplies in here. I am so excited about this. And I want to show you my favorite thing from the catalog. It's actually on the back here. I hope you guys can see this. Look at these penguins. I have this in my pre-order. There are so many great things here, but this penguin set is definitely my #1 on the catalog. So what it is these products, the stamp set and the punch, are in the big catalog here, the July through December mini catalog, and then coordinating with Celebration is this really sweet penguin paper, designer series paper, my absolute favorite. I think I ordered 3 of those, so I cannot wait. Now, if you are a demonstrator, you can pre-order these items starting now. Last week we were able to pre-order these items, but if you are not a demonstrator and you are wanting to join the Stampin' Blondie team and get your hands on these items now, you can join the Stampin' Blondie team now for pre-ordering these items. There's also a great sign up special coming during Celebration as well. So really any time to join Stampin' Up is the best time to join Stampin' Up. So I cannot wait to show you what I got on my pre-order. As a reminder, if you're not working with a demonstrator and you haven't placed an order with me in the last 6 months, there will be a link in the description of this video where you can reserve your own catalog for free. If you have placed an order with me, you're automatically on the list. No need to fill out the form. You're already gonna get one in the mail. All right, next up, let me go ahead and swap my camera here. You know, I always hit the wrong button. There we go. I hit that wrong button all the time, and you know, you guys get to see all the different views back and forth, but got it all right here. All right, the next thing is that today is the last day to register for my Sweet as a Peach July card class. This is hosted with Lisa Hardy from Sweet Paper Studios. She's a demonstrator in Canada, so no matter where you live in North America, you can join our class. So just a little sneak peek of 2 of the 4 projects that you will be creating. These are the Sweet as the Peach cards. I adore these projects. These are so sweet. So you will make 8 cards. There are 4 different designs, 2 of each design. And in the class kit, you'll receive a full package of the 12x12 designer series paper. So the You're a Peach 12x12 designer series paper, a full package of this. You'll receive a roll of linen thread and a package of the Artistry Blooms adhesive backed sequins. So these are really fun. The best part is that these sequins coordinate with this designer series paper perfectly, even though they're not even in the same suite in the catalog. Now you can add on the Sweet as a Peach stamp set to be able to create our projects just like we have, or if you already own them, you can still register for the class and just receive the kit contents. So you can add on the Sweet as a Peach stamp set or the bundle, which includes the Peach Builder dies. And today is the last day to register for this. I will be placing the order for these class kits tomorrow morning. So if you're wanting to register, link will be in the description of this video after I'm done, and you can reserve your class kit. So no matter where you are in North America, you can join Lisa and I for our online class. This is an online virtual class this month, just because I'm still recovering from my foot surgery, and Christmas in July Stampin' Bingo is about all I can handle for in-person this month. So that will be a virtual class during this. So I am super excited to be able to bring you that Sweet as a Peach class. Now, the last thing that I wanted to share with you is something very personal to me that I have been working on over the past year. So I have been a demonstrator with Stampin' Up! For the past, it'll be 11 years this coming November. And one of my biggest goals for this year is to earn Stampin' Up's incentive trip. Only 1% of Stampin' Up! Demonstrators earn this incentive trip. Now, what I have been doing over the past year is tracking my daily goals and everything to earn this trip. And this is where I need your help. So I am currently 8,000 points away from earning this incentive trip. This is an Eastern Caribbean cruise on Royal Caribbean, and I am just so excited to be able to try to earn my first incentive trip. I have worked so hard over the past year to be able to bring you classes and events that I know that you guys are going to love. So what can you do to help out? So I am looking for hostesses to host and have their online class through me. It's a private online class for you and your friends to be able to craft together in a private environment. So I'm looking for hostesses to be able to earn Stampin' Up! Products for free with this event. So if you are interested in helping me earn the incentive trip or wanting to host your own private workshop party through me, comment below and I am more than happy to set up a date and time with you to be able to host your own party. Now, the best part is that you can even do it in conjunction with the mini catalog release, and we can get you doing some really fun fall, Halloween, or Christmas projects that people can go home and have their own cards that they created as well. So if you are interested in hosting your own online workshop with me, comment below. I would love to help you out. We would have a great time with creating together, and I would look forward to hosting your next Stampin' Up! Workshop where you can earn free products just for having people show up and we can create together. All right. Let's get on that incentive trip boat. I am excited to jump on and just go with the flow with that. All right, let's jump into our two projects today. Today I'm creating these two projects featuring the Color and Contour bundle from Stampin' Up! Now these also feature the 2021-2023 annual in colors. Now speaking of those colors, if you are new to joining me each week, I do something what is called Prize Patrol. So all you have to do is share this video to be entered into Prize Patrol. Now make sure that you comment, because sometimes sometimes Facebook doesn't always let me know when somebody has shared due to your security settings. So comment that you shared below to be entered to win our Prize Patrol for the week. So last week when we had Technique Tuesday, I had a Prize Patrol of this Punch Party stamp set. And the winner from last week is Diana McNally McCall. So I hope you're watching, Diana. If not, I'll still reach out to you and you have received the Punch Party stamp set free for me. Now, I mentioned the 21-23 annual in colors. Now, our Prize Patrol for this week is a package of 12 by 12 shimmer vellum paper. Now, I'm gonna open this so you guys can see it. But this shimmer vellum paper, a little loud, is beautiful. So you get 10 sheets of 12 by 12 vellum paper, and it comes in 5 different colors. So we have pale papaya, fresh freesia, evening evergreen, polished pink, and soft succulent, our new 5 newest colors from Stampin' Up! Now these shimmer vellum, I hope you guys can see there. I think I picked up a little bit of that shimmer on there. This paper, it's vellum, so it's gonna be semi-opaque for your projects, but it has this really fun texture to it. Now I'm not using it on my projects today, but I'm gonna use the colors so you can see how you can easily intertwine this vellum paper into the projects today to be able to create with the shimmer vellum. So just share the video and you'll be entered into this week's Prize Patrol. All right, these are 2 projects that we are going to be featuring. Now this one's really fun because it kind of has a little peekaboo aspect to it here. And once you see how this is put together, it's very, very easy to do. We're actually going to start though with this fresh freesia project. Now each week I bring you a free PDF with all of the details of the 2 projects that I'm creating. This can be found on my website at stampinblondie.com. and it was posted earlier this morning, but it has all of the item names, item numbers, prices, and the dimensions on all of the products that I'm using on my projects today. So you can pair this PDF with this video to be able to create these projects as your schedule allows. So stampinblondie.com, you can grab this free PDF and we will create together. I'd love to see what you create each week with me. All right, let me swap out my project pieces here. So today, the Color and Contour Bundle. This is from the 2021-22 annual catalog, and it is a really great set because not only does it has fun images with it that are two-step stamps, but also great sentiments. I love a stamp set that comes with both sentiments and images so that you can really stretch that stamp set in a variety of ways. Another thing I like about this is this font. I love the font that comes with this, and it's very modern and really fun, just how I like my cards. This is a photopolymer stamp set, meaning it's completely see-through and clear, so you can see exactly where you're stamping. And it comes in a bundle in the catalog with these amazing dies. I love this die set because not only does it come with these two pieces to cut out the flowers on the stamp set, but these amazing scalloped rectangle dies. And this really fun stitched scallop die at the top. Now these rectangle dies are they're all different, really. You have different stitch types on them. But this is a great set for stampers to have as just an everyday label die set. I really like this little piece here. We're gonna use that on a card. And then you can go all the way up to a full-size rectangle card for the project. So let's sit these off to the side while we grab our supplies here for our first card. This features fresh freesia from the new 21-23 annual in colors. I have a piece of fresh freesia cardstock, and this is cut to 5.5 by 8.5. So a basic sheet of 8.5 by 11, cut in half and scored at 4.25. So we're gonna fold that in half, and I'm just going to crease up my lines here with my bone folder. This will help my project to lay flat while I work on it. And let me get out my paper so I can give you the dimensions here. This is a piece of the 6x6 in color designer series paper. So it comes in all 5 of those in colors, different patterns. There's some really great patterns on both sides. I love this kind of plaid side. So we're going to use this. This is 1 inch by 5.25. So it's just going to go down the side of our card here. I have a piece of basic white cardstock, and this is, let me make sure, 2 3/4 by 5 1/8, and that's going to be our piece that goes right there. And then this is a scratch piece of basic white cardstock, just cut to 1.5 by 5 1/8. And this is the part we're going to work on first here. So I'm going to take that big scalloped die, the stitched scallop die here, and we're going to place it onto our cardstock upside down. Now, a tip with dies: when you run them through the embossing machine, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, they can shimmy and shift a little bit. So what I like to do is I like to take a piece of washi tape, and I'm going to make sure that my die is straight, and I'm just going to tape my die down to my cardstock. This will help it from shimmy and shifting when I run it through the machine, and it'll hold it all together so it won't move. So I'm going to take my big Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and since we are die cutting, we're gonna use our base plate too. Now the best part about this is that it has pictures and numbers, so you know exactly what to layer when you use this machine. We're gonna put our first plate down, our die, let me bring this out a little farther, our die here, and our top plate. Now when you run this through, it's gonna make crunching and cracking noises. That's okay. It's just cutting into the paper. And we're gonna move this off to the side. And because it was washi taped down, we don't have to worry about our piece moving. We just need to very slowly lift up our washi tape so it doesn't rip our paper like that is right now. There we go. Get underneath it and just slowly peel that off. Get up here. And slowly. I love, yes, Carol, I love this scalloped edge. Like, it's so pretty, it's so simple, and it's really easy to create that fun stitched edge here. All right, so there is our scalloped edge with that fun stitching on the edge there. I'm gonna bring in my trimmer. I just wanna trim off a little bit. I really like to overextend my piece when I am die cutting something like this. I just wanna make sure that I have enough room. So you can always make your piece bigger than what you need and then trim off any excess. Put our trimmer away, and I'm gonna adhere this to our piece of plaid Fresh Freesia Designer Series paper. I'm just going to use some liquid glue on this. I want to use liquid glue because it has a little bit of give and like a little bit of time to really place it into the corner, as opposed to using like a tape runner. With tape runner or Stampin' Seal, you don't really have a few seconds to move your cardstock back and forth for it to be exactly where you want it and lined up edge to edge. So we've got that there. Now we can adhere this down to our cardstock base, again with liquid glue, just to make sure it's in the right spot, right where I want it, and you can move it around a little bit. All right, our stamping part here. I'm gonna actually turn my paper to be horizontal when I work, just it's easier for me to do it this way. I've got this part here, this outline of a flower that I'm gonna use first, and then I'm gonna come in with the inside of the flower. We're also gonna use this really fun splatter technique stamp. I really like that background for that. All right. Our pieces here are, like I said, photopolymer, so you can see exactly where you're stamping. And we're gonna stamp first using Tuxedo Black Memento ink. So grab that here. And we're gonna do the outline first and then the inside of the card, just so you can see where you're gonna stamp your inside at. So ink up. And I want to do this. I want to make sure that my fill-in portion is going to line up here. So we're going to just stamp around. There's really no rhyme or reason to where I'm stamping. It's just layering it on the card wherever it happens to land. That's it, really. Now for this scalloped part where you fill in the color, this can be a little tricky. So I'm going to show you an easy way that you can line these two up together. So I've got my Fresh Freesia ink pad here, and I literally just lost the outline to the card color that I was going to use. Where did it go? Looks like we may not be, oh, there it is. It blends into my grid paper so easily. So on this stamp here, let me try to show you from here. There's this little leaf that kind of has a little bubble to it. It's different than all the others, I feel. It has a little, it looks like a little foot that sticks out from it. So that is gonna line up with this one that is straight down. So you've got the little foot that kind of kicks out and one that goes straight down. So that is the best way that I have found that you can easily line up these flowers here. So we're just going to stamp. Now this is not meant to completely fill in the flower. It's supposed to give the illusion of color, but not fill in the entire thing. So you can see there's white outlines. It's not meant to be a completely filled in flower. So if you get this and you're like, it's not lining up for me, I'm having some problems, this is how it's supposed to look. So if you have that where you've got white outlines there, it's perfect. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. All right, now we're gonna come in with this like splatter stamp, and we are going to fill in the areas that do not have anything stamped. Now the best part is, because I'm using the same ink color, you can stamp literally right onto the flowers and overlap your ink splatter with your flower, and it'll blend right in to the card, and you can't even tell where it would blend into. All right, so there is the beginning of our card base. Now, of course, you can't have a flower without filling in the middle. Now, unfortunately, there isn't a like middle stamp for this, so I'm just gonna use my dark Stampin' Blends Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blends marker, and you can just quickly fill in the color for the middle of this. And because it's supposed to look like a watercolor, you can just quickly swirl in the color and it doesn't even have to fill in the whole thing, and it looks perfect. We're gonna adhere this to our card base. Again, I'm using liquid glue just so I have a little bit of wiggle room when I lay that down to my card base, so I can make sure everything is lined up with that first piece that I added. Now I pre-cut from the color and contours, the scallop contours dies, a piece of basic white cardstock with this small die here. So look how fun that is. Now when you die cut that, you may notice that there's all these little white pieces that are kind of stuck in the little negative parts here, the scalloped edges. So you can just take your what is this? Take your pick tool. The name escaped me. Take your pick tool and just poke out the little white pieces there. And then you will have the whole scallop part poked out, and it'll be ready to ink up. Now you can take your desktop vacuum and just suck those up. Mine is in the other room, so I don't have that right now. But a little desktop vacuum will sweep that right up. We're gonna come in with our fresh Freesia ink again. The sentiment is going to be the "You're absolutely amazing." And ink that up, and we're gonna stamp it right in the middle of our die cut. Now, if you want, you can always stamp first and then die cut. I just did it because for saving time, I pre-die cut it out. And we are going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of this piece. Stampin' Dimensionals are great. They really create different layers of height onto your project, and it has, it really draws your eye into that portion of the card. So we're putting that there. And then the last final touch, these are really fun. Where did I put them? Here. These are the new 2123 in color jewels. So the best part about these is that they are kind of like iridescent, and they're fun, they're great, and you can really create some shine and shimmer with your projects. So I'm using 2 of the large fresh Freesia embellishments, just 1 on each corner of the project, and that is our first card featuring the color and contour bundle and fresh Freesia, which is one of the 2123 in colors. I hope you guys like this project. The best part about this is whatever color combination you choose for this, it can be used for so many different color combinations, and you can really swap them out. Same layout, and it is a really easy project to create. So I hope you guys like this one. Let me know what you think in the comments. You know, I'm really not a big fresh Freesia purple fan, but I like this, and that Daffodil Delight really just pops in the middle of those cards, or the flowers. So that is a really fun project. All right, our second card here, of course, you can't have a Stampin' Blondie project without some kind of pink. This is Polished Pink, my favorite 2123 in color. And I mean, it's bright, it's bold, it's pink, it's me. I mean, I love it. I mean, it's on my shirt. My knee scooter right now has a pink pad on it for my surgery recovery. I got a pink cane yesterday, so I am just, you know, all pinked out. So this is a really fun technique that you can create out of one sheet of Stampin' Up cardstock. So we have a piece of 4.5 or 4 1/4 by 11 piece of polished pink cardstock. So 8.5 by 11, scored at 5.5, cut at 4 1/4. So just a regular, this would be the start of an easel card if you are flipping your project around to want to do a different type of layout here. We're gonna bring in our Stampin' Trimmer, and we are gonna cut this at 3 1/4. So you're just gonna take your piece here that's already scored, and we're gonna cut off 3 1/4. I wanna make sure I'm doing this right. So we're gonna cut at 3 1/4, and I'm using my trimmer upside down. I don't normally use it this way. So it's a little difficult for me. So this is our top flap. And now we're gonna take this piece and we're gonna trim it down to 2 1/4. So we've got our piece here, 2 1/4, that we're gonna cut. Now this piece is going to be our little sentiment piece. So let's bring our trimmer out of the way. So we have our top layer, our bottom layer, and our sentiment piece. So top layer, bottom layer, sentiment piece, that's where it would fit, right in the middle there. So we're going to use our bone folder and crisp that line up just one more time so it lays flat a little bit more. Now I've pre-cut some pieces here, but it is 2 pieces of the same size of both of these. So this first one, the designer series paper, it is 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. So it's gonna be the same on top and bottom. So these are now the same size. Our basic white cardstock is 2 by 4. Very simple to create, and now we're gonna layer these on top of each other. Again, I'm using liquid glue just so that I can have that little wiggle room when I place everything down. So our first layer here is gonna be our basic white 2 by 4. And then our designer series paper is just 1/4 inch smaller on 2 sides. So it's 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. There we go. That's how I figure out my matting. I always do just 1/4 inch smaller on 2 of the sides, and it'll perfect fit for layering. All right, our 2 by 4 piece here at the top, right there. And our 1 3/4 by 3 3/4 at the top here as well. And there we go. Now we are going to take our pre-cut. So this is actually part of the Scallop Contours dies as well. It's this middle piece here. This is polished pink cardstock that I just pre-cut using that die to show you that it's, again, still within the same Scallop Contours, a different shape than that last one that we did. Now what we're gonna do is we are going to take Stampin' Dimensionals, and we're gonna put 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. You don't wanna put any in the middle, because if you do, then you won't be able to close your card because it'll be stuck permanently closed. So what we're gonna do is I want to adhere the top first. So we're gonna put our 2 there at the top, making sure that we don't let that exposed dimensional touch the inside of our card. And then we're gonna take this extra piece and line it up. So we're gonna line it up here with the base of our card. We're gonna hold it in place and close that. And that'll adhere those dimensionals to that, and then you have that kind of peekaboo card there. Very simple, really cool when somebody sees that and they're like, oh, your whole middle of your card is cut out, and it has that really fun peekaboo to it. We've got a piece, this is another piece of basic white cardstock. This is 1 7/8 by 3 1/4, so it's gonna fit right in the middle of this. We're going to use this big flower here. Now there is a die that coordinates with this, but for this project we don't need the die. We're just going to stamp this flower here. Because I'm going to be using Stampin Blends alcohol-based markers, we do not want to use StazOn ink. We're going to be using our Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and we're going to ink this up upside down. I'm doing this upside down because it's a bigger stamp, and I want to make sure that everything is inked up before I place it onto my card. So it is going to hang off this piece of basic white cardstock, but you want to get as much of the flower onto the white piece here. There we go. All right, for our Stampin Blends. Now this year, Stampin Up released all 5 of the in colors in Stampin Blends colors. So we're gonna use Polished Pink and Soft Succulent for our Stampin Blends. And when you use Stampin Blends, because they are alcohol-based markers, you want to make sure that your workspace is covered, because it can bleed through your paper and it could get onto your workspace. So you just want to make sure that your workspace is covered with a scratch piece of paper, or I like our grid paper as well. I'm going to come in first with my light Polished Pink Stampin' Blend, if I can get the lid off, and I'm just going to color in the flowers here really quickly. Like the last project, it's okay if it is like a watercolor wash look to it. And with these Stampin' Blends, you can really easily color in larger portions with the brush end of the marker. I'm gonna come in with the dark Stampin' Blend, and with the pen tip, just kind of color in the base of the flowers. And because these come together in a pack with light and dark, they're meant to be blended together. So we're just gonna blend out that harsh line from the dark marker, and it gives it a little bit of a contour. Now here's the back of the paper. Like I mentioned, you definitely want to make sure that your color in your workspace is covered because of bleeding through the paper. Now I'm only going to use one color of the Soft Succulent Stampin' Blends because these spaces are so tiny. There really isn't a lot of room to be doing light and dark blending on these. You can try, but I just figured one color would be great for this section. And now we're done with our markers, and we're gonna adhere this right to our card base. Again, with liquid glue, just because I have that little shimmy and give when I place that onto my card. Now this extra piece here, we have that piece that we cut out from the middle. This is what we're gonna stamp our sentiment on. Now you're gonna have to trim it down a little bit, but that's okay because you're using all pieces of the card. We're gonna use the sentiment that says "Here for you now." I'm gonna place that and ink it up with some Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And I'm just gonna place it kind of in that lower right-hand corner of that additional piece of cardstock. I'm gonna come in with my trimmer again, and we're gonna cut off, I hope you guys can see this. I wanna use it the right way so I can see where I'm trimming down here with a smaller piece. But we're just gonna trim off some of the excess cardstock so it frames the sentiment just a little bit better and it isn't too big on there. Now you have this whole side of cardstock there, so I'm just gonna come in with some scissors, and I'm gonna cut this at an angle. You wanna make sure that your angles are the same on both sides. And it's a nice little way to kind of give your sentiment a different look to it than just being squared off or doing flags on the end. Now, a little trick for this, because we adhered our scalloped piece here with Stampin' Dimensionals, if I was to put 2 dimensionals on the back of this, you'd have one side that would be higher than the other. So what we're gonna do is on the back of this right side here, we're gonna put 1 dimensional, and the other side is gonna be liquid glue. So that will ensure when we place it on our card that it is even and all one height. So it's, oh, stick, there we go. So we have the Stampin' Dimensional on this side, liquid glue here, all the same height across the entire card. Now the final embellishment, these polished pink in color jewels, my favorite embellishments because they are like neon pink, right in the lower left hand corner. And one last touch, my favorite Wink of Stella glitter brush right on the flowers. Now the best part about Wink of Stella, if you've never used this before, is there's no loose glitter. Many of you watching know that I have a husband who is active duty military, and I have no loose glitter in my entire craft room. That is because loose glitter can get on his uniform and it can really negatively affect his deployed coworkers if they get glitter on their uniforms before they leave for deployment. So with Wink of Stella, I can build and build that glitter to make it really shiny without any loose glitter in my craft room. It's contained, it's not messy, and it is a perfect way to finish off this project. I hope you guys can see that little bit of shine right on the flowers because it really is pretty. All right, so let's bring in our projects for today. Let me know which one is your favorite. I have to say that these 2 projects are vastly different, but with their bright colors, it's really fun to create with the color and contour bundle. I really think, of course, the polished pink one right here has got to be my absolute favorite today. All right. So thank you everybody for joining me for another week of Makers Monday. I look forward to seeing you next week where we will create some really fun projects from the annual catalog with maybe a little bit of surprise guests from the new July through December mini catalog. I hope you all have an amazing week and I will see you next time. Bye.